Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic, hope you're doing well, and today we've got some of probably the worst movie news that I've heard in a long time. Not only is it about one of the best films ever made, not only is it about one of my top 3 favorite films of all time, not only is it about arguably the greatest Christmas movie ever, it is also about Pete Davidson. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, what do Pete Davidson and the classic film It's a Wonderful Life have in common? Well, it turns out that someone in Hollywood thought it would be a good idea for Pete Davidson to star in a remake of It's a Wonderful Life. Yes, that is where we are in 2020. Pete Davidson, who I've never seen him in an actual movie. Apparently, The King of Staten Island, or whatever the film was called with Staten Island, he was pretty good in, or he was okay in. All I've ever seen from him are the clips of the different segments he's done on SNL. And every single time he's done a clip over there, every single time he's done a segment over there, the whole time I'm seeing that he's about to be literally on the brink of breaking character every single time, which makes me question his acting prowess, let alone his acting prowess to be able to be good enough to be in a remake of It's a Wonderful Life, which, by the way, no one is asking for. Dear Lord. So anyway, this is going to be coming from Us Weekly, which, yes, is actually NewsGuard certified. And yes, indeed, that's something that I'm going to start to look into. Shout out to Tim Pool and Timcast for getting me obsessed with that. But before I get into the video, please, if you could, check out the new YouTube channel. That's right. You might be recognized as saying, wait a minute, didn't this used to be the Welcome to Asgard channel? And yes, it was. However, I've not been able to keep up with a lot of content over there for a wide variety of reasons, and a lot of the stuff I was putting over there was still very much content that could have gone over onto the main channel as well. And so my goal is to, over the next several weeks, transition a lot of the old content that used to be on this channel to the main channel, as kind of a rewind, or this is what it used to be when I had hair, for instance, and I gave a review of this movie, posting all of those things on the main channel. That way I can try and actually keep up with some consistent content, even if I'm not able to actually record a dedicated video, since, of course, Baby Thor entering the world has kind of thrown things around. In fact, I'm literally monitoring Baby Thor right now, just in case he wakes up and needs me. And so if you see any random cuts in the movie, or rather in this video, that is the reason why. But if you all could please go over there, you'll find a link to this in the description of the video. Also, I'll put it in the card of the eye above my head as well. The OMB Report. It is the new channel where I'll be talking about news, politics, and religion, all giving all of my commentary on the latest stuff of today. In fact, my first official video is up where I talk about 79% of Trump voters believing the election was stolen, and what that means for the current state of our country and the potential future. By the way, that video was instantly demonetized. 0 views, and it was already demonetized. So that just goes ahead and show you the kind of content you find over there. Even though there is still nothing really crazy over there, there is still nothing inappropriate over there, still somehow YouTube found a way. So if y'all go check that out, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so now jumping back into the main story again. Pete Davidson, of all people, has been chosen to star in It's a Wonderful Life. It says here that he was to star in It's a Wonderful Life live virtual table read for charity. So, seems like they're not making a full-fledged reboot or a full-fledged remaking of this movie. It's just going to be a table read for charity. However, it doesn't take long for table reads to eventually reach the point where you would actually have it be into an actual movie. So let's go ahead and read the story right here. It says, spreading holiday cheer, Pete Davidson is set to take on an iconic role in the beloved Christmas classic, It's a Wonderful Life, for a very worthy cause. We'll be the judge of that. On Monday, November 23rd, Deadline confirmed that the 27-year-old Saturday Night Live star is leading a live virtual table reading of the 1946 holiday film. Davidson will appear as George Bailey, originated by Hollywood legend Jimmy Stewart, and will reunite with King of Staten Island co-star Maude Apatow, who plays Violet Bick. Interestingly enough there. Amir Farrow, Ellie Kemper, Carol Kane, Ed Begley Jr., Diedrich Bader, Bill Pullman, Richard Kine, B.D. Wong, and Michael Shannon are also taking part in the charity event, which is slated for Sunday, December 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Proceeds from the live stream will go towards the Ed Asner Family Center, an organization focused on promoting enrichment programs for families of special needs children. And now let me just stop right there and say, all jokes aside and all cynicism aside, that is an amazing thing for them to be doing. doing to be trying to raise money for that organization. And I hope, even though I wish it was a different film, and I wish they weren't trying to do this now in 2020 with all this crazy stuff that I'm sure is going to happen in that table reading, remake, redux of the film, whatever the hell it's going to be. But I will say this much. Obviously, got to give credit where credit's due. The fact that they're raising money for kids, especially who are of special needs. I got to give credit for them to that. I got to hope that it is as successful as it possibly can be, not for them, but for specifically the kids that they're going to be helping in this process as well. It's a Wonderful Life is a mainstay of holiday movie catalog, earning 5 Academy Award nominations. Following its theatrical debut in 1990, the Frank Capra-directed film was dubbed a culturally historical and aesthetically significant, added to the National Film Registry. No surprise there at all. And now this is just going into the basic overview of everything that was going on. It says, more than 6 decades after it premiered, It's a Wonderful Life details themes that are still just as powerful in the present day. Earlier this year, Davidson got candid about his own struggles with mental health, revealing that he had suicidal thoughts during his lowest part in 2017. I got as close as you can get. I mean, I was just like testing the waters, the New York native said in June interview. And until I met the right treatments and the right doctors and did all the work you need to do, like not feel that way, it got pretty dark and scary. So obviously, thoughts and prayers out to him and to anyone struggling with depression and anxiety that would lead to those kinds of thoughts. Again, I can be critical of his acting prowess. I can be critical of all those other things, but I can absolutely separate the actor from, I'm trying to think of the word for it, but anyway, the art from the artist is the word I was looking for there, because at the end of the day, he is still a human person. He is still a human being worthy of love and respect. However, I really do still just wish that they weren't doing, even if it's just a table reading, even though they're not remaking the film completely, it would be really nice if they just were just going to leave this film alone. I feel like that there's a lot of other things that they could be doing instead. Despite hitting a dark period, Davidson brought himself back into the light through the creation of his semi-autobiographical movie, King of Staten Island, which premiered in June, so that might be why I've been hearing some good things for the most part about his acting in there. If it is mostly or somewhat based off of his own life, he's going to be acting like himself, which for most people, even for actors, is pretty easy to do. He says, I really wanted this to be like cleansing for me, he said, of the film. I feel like I got to speak about it in the biggest way possible, and I could get my story out there, so I feel like now I could, like, let it go. And again, art from the artist there, it kind of drives me crazy that people who have spent all this time going through acting school and everything that going on with improv, and yet in a basic interview, you continue to use the terms of like. Anyway, that's just a very small caveat, but here's the thing. I'm very upset that they're going to be doing a remake or a redo of this in any capacity whatsoever, because it is exactly perfect the way it is. To me, it would make a lot more sense, or it would make me a lot more happy if they were going to say, hey, we're going to host a screening where we will be there and we will do some, Q&As, or we'll do some, signing of autographs, or we'll do some stuff before or after the show, like actually make it into a major event, but to not actually touch the iconic classic film of It's a Wonderful Life, because as we all know, the current age that we live in with movies is a very precarious one. Newer films are getting harder for harder to be released. It's a lot harder in general for these films to get the kind of attention that they need. And so for them to go back into a holiday classic, and Lord knows they're going to probably, because this is 2020, they're probably going to try and modernize it. They're probably going to try and do some casting differences as far as who does the reading is concerned. And it'll all be done for some type of agenda. And as long as that agenda is specifically focused on the mental health component of it, then I will completely say, yeah, absolutely, mea culpa. I should never have gone after this in the first place. But again, it's sad that I have to be so cynical, but again, I am the critic who's a cynic, about this kind of news, because I just don't really think that it's going to just be about that. I hope it is. I really do. I hope and pray that it's just about raising awareness and trying to raise money for this organization, because again, as we all know, people indeed with special needs need all the help and love and attention that they can possibly get. And also here talking about people dealing with depression, people dealing with all these different dark places that many can go to, especially during this time of lockdown, more so than anything else, is very important. And so if this is a way for them to be able to bring even one person out of depression, or bring one person closer to talking to somebody about their issues, then I will be completely on board with what they're trying to do here. I just, again, because of the movie love, the film lover in me, and having so much passion for that movie and not wanting anyone to touch it, because it's this kind of stuff that could eventually lead to them talking about doing an official remake or reboot, trying to update it for modern times. It starts off as a table reading for charity, and then it takes just a year or two for them to turn it into something else. And that is what I'm most concerned about, and that's what I'm most critical about here. But hey, kudos to them for doing something for a worthy cause. Anyway, what are your thoughts about this? Do you think that this is something that they should be doing? Again, obviously, I think them raising money for charity, raising money to help kids especially, is a wonderful thing, but do they really need to be using It's a Wonderful Life and doing this table reading, kind of trying to, I guess, take it into modern day context, modern day terms? That I'm not really quite sure, but let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. If you like this video, smash that like button, hit that subscribe. It helps out a lot. You are all amazing and beautiful people, and again, please be on the lookout for some videos that might be a little different, with me maybe having some hair, maybe videos that you had seen on the other channel, the old Welcome to Asgard channel. But obviously, yeah, I'm going to be trying to, make sure I have more consistent content over here, even if it's a little bit older content, still relevant stuff that I'm proud of, that I can stand by. But also, please, if you have not done so already, check out the OMB Report. Also, you can follow me on Twitter now at the OMB Report as well, if you want to hear more political, cultural, religious news analysis. You guys rock. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my November Patreon and Subscribestar members: Albertus Magnus, Animation Commentator, Brian P., David Bobrizik, Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Hail Father, Father Damian Cook, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wienerdog Clan, Harold Francis, The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jay, Jeffrey Toone, Jonathan Carney, Kenneth Camille, Laura Story ×2, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Outpost Dyer, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, or Miss Martin Muses, Theodore Bendon, Tina Bojan, and Tina B., the Empress of the Universe, and Andrew Hoyle. Thank you all for being my Patreon members, and a shout out, of course, to my Subscribestar members: Stand For, John B., Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, Darkstar57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Nabadan G. Adams, and ZK Man. Thank you to my Subscribestar and Patreon members for supporting me for this month. I hope that you are enjoying your perks of getting access to things like a podcast, to giveaways, and also, of course, to other exclusive content. I know I've fallen a little bit behind with the birth of baby Thor, and so I thank you very much for your patience and, of course, for your continued support. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.